Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to tell you what I think are the best gel polishes out on the market. I used to do these videos called Review and Compare series, and I did them on concealers, on primers and on gel polishes, and the gel polishes one is still one of my highest viewed videos, and so I figured it was time to do an updated one because that was 2 or 3 years ago. I've got 4 brands to tell you about that are my favourite brands to use, and I'm showing you some of my favourite colours as well, and I've got 1 brand to tell you about that I still don't like. My opinion hasn't really changed since that video on a couple of brands I'm mentioning, but there's also a brand now that I didn't use then and brands then that I don't use now simply because I don't find them on Amazon. I used to use Fusion and Lipsy then, and I don't believe they were that inexpensive anyway. So will I start with the dud and then tell you about the good ones? Let's do that. So the dud is this red Carpet Manicure, and ironically that's where I started with my gel nails. I remember Kev won some money betting. We're not normally betters, but occasionally for big things we'll bet, and I think it was when Bubba Watson won the golf, hence Watson, our dog. Anyway, he bought me the gel system, and it was you could buy 2 lamps at the time. One was a sort of little arch, and that's the one I got. It was the one that was more powerful, and it only took 90 seconds, which was really good at the time. And I think it came with a couple of polishes, and I bought some polishes to go with it. As I think I probably said in my last review video, these are so inconsistent. There are some of the red Carpet Manicure polishes that are, and it's called LED nail gel polish. There are some that are okay, but more often than not, I find them to be too thin. And so you will put it on your nail and you can see how thin it is because it drops off, and you don't normally find that with a polish. We'll test it out on the others. But you normally find when you use this, it sort of pools and it's too thin in the middle. It just sort of all runs to the edge, and I found it very, very difficult to get a good one of these. When I did get a good one, I loved it, you know, and I did have some that I enjoyed, but I ran out of, and I found brands that I prefer since. So I haven't ever gone back to these. I wouldn't buy a new colour in these now because, like I said, I bought this one and it's £12.95, and I actually tried to do it on here. So hopefully you can see those 2 there. Hopefully you can see that it's not opaque, and that's actually 2 coats and it's made it all lumpy because it just is so thin. Now fair enough, this isn't on a natural nail, it's on this nail wheel, but that is how it acts on the nail. So on to my favourite brands and colours. Where will I start? Let me start with telling you that my number 1 favourite is the Sensationail polishes, which are, I thought it was a Boots own brand, but maybe it's not, but they are called Sensationail. And this is something else that I discovered actually back then, and probably will have talked about in that other video. These are highly consistent. I think that the formula in every single polish I've had has been really, really good. I haven't put any on here, but let me do that because I've got my 2 favourite colours here from Sensationail are Blue Yonder, and that's just a lovely deep navy blue. So Blue Yonder, I'm not going to cure these, that's Blue Yonder. And you always get a beautiful shine, they last really well. Really love the Sensationail, and I always look in Boots to see if there's any new colours out. The only thing I suppose about the range is that they don't bring out many new colours very often. The next one is called Merlot Magic, and this is actually a fairly new one. And these are £15, so they're not the cheapest. But like I said, I just found that every single one is consistent. So that is Merlot Magic there. I like the bottles. I like the little square bottles. I like the brush. The brush is actually fairly thin, which I like. I like a small brush. So again, it depends on your preferences, but I like a small thin brush. I am showing you one with a lot bigger brush, and that depends on your nail size. I've got small nails, you know, so it does actually help me having a smaller brush. Something to mention about the Sensationail range is they've got a new range which is called Sensational Express, and it does need to be cured. It's like this, but you put 2 to 3 coats on, cure it. You don't need a base coat and you don't need a top coat. Although it does say you can use it with that for extra longevity and shine. So I'm not sure how good that would be. I do intend on getting one and doing a review if I can get my hands on them. I haven't seen them in store. I'm going to check one other store tomorrow and see if I can find them. If not, I'll order them online. But I like to see the colours on the box if possible. So Sensationail, my #1 choice. I think that they're every single polish I've had, and up here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 now. I would say I've had probably 12 to 15, and I've used some up. I love my reds from there, and I've given some away because I bought them and gone, you know what, I've never used this colour. Like there was one colour called Raisin that I've given to a friend, but they are my #1 choice. Next, I would have said CND Shellac, and this is an interesting one because firstly, you can buy this on Amazon, but there is no way of knowing that it's genuine. CND Shellac and gelish and gelées should be bought from the manufacturers, and you should buy it if you are a nail technician. I qualified as a nail technician many, many years ago. Do not have my certificate. I could go and download it from certain websites if I wanted to be able to buy particular polishes. But I'm not bothered about that because I want to be able to buy what my viewers can buy so I can recommend it to you. So I'm really not bothered about that. So what I've done is I've bought CND Shellac from Amazon over the years, and I have to say I have never had one that hasn't been great, other than I had a silver colour that was a bit off. But I think that these, if they're not genuine, they are a great dupe for the genuine thing, and these are 3 of my favourite colours. So they would have been my next choice for you, CND Shellac from Amazon, knowing that you're taking the risk that they may not be genuine. However, I do have one Blue Sky polish, which is, I've actually got it on my thumb. It's funny, it's changing colour as we speak. That's it hot, but when it goes cold, it's dark purple. It's a colour changing one. But what I didn't realise until recently is that Blue Sky actually do dupes of the CND Shellac colours. So I thought I would order one in one of my favourite colours from CND Shellac, which is Wildfire. And so I ordered the one from Blue Sky in Wildfire. The great thing is they've got exactly the same name. So if you've got a colour you like in CND Shellac, you can find it in Blue Sky, and they are half the price. I think this one was £6 and this one was £13. So I have put them on my little nail wheel here, and what I've done is I put a little sticker on the back for the Blue Sky one. So that one there is the CND Shellac in Wildfire, and that one is Blue Sky in Wildfire. And they look exactly the same, they applied exactly the same. The only thing I can't tell you about this particular polish is whether it would last as long as the shellac one would. But I have used the colour changing one, and I've had some others that I've used once and not liked the colour. I had a dark grey from Blue Sky that I used, and they did apply well, last as well. I really, really like these. So if you're looking for a budget one, the Blue Sky is the way to go. And I have to say, going forward, I will look at CND and see if there is a matching one in Blue Sky and get the Blue Sky one over getting the CND one. So what I'll do is I'll link to the Blue Sky colours of these. So my favourite CND colours are Purple Purple, which is pretty much the same as that colour on there, is the Blue Sky, this colour changing one. You can see that's it cold and that's it warm. Same polish. And the Purple Purple is pretty similar, but obviously more purple. It's beautiful. I'm going to just wipe these off, so I don't want to put too much on, but that's Purple Purple there. Then my next favourite colour is called Beckoning Begonia, one that some of you will remember that Nisha actually recommended to us, and I immediately went and bought it, and I know this one comes in the Blue Sky one. Be interesting to see if that one matched exactly. I think you'd need a couple of coats of these CND Shellac ones, and this has got a little bit of a sparkle to it. So that's Beckoning Begonia there. Didn't hold that up for very long, did I? But it is basically that colour there. Ouch, just bit my tongue. And the final one that I have really loved is this Peacock Plume, which is a turquoisey blue, I guess you'd call it. Beautiful colour. Not really a spring colour, I guess. And again, it's that one there. And again, it's one that you can get in the Blue Sky range. And it is also like the colour of the bottle. That's the great thing about these, and the Blue Sky is the same because this is the two bottles together. You get the same amount. I think it's the same brush. No, actually the Blue Sky brush is bigger. Let me show you the brushes. So this is, not by much, but this is the CND Shellac brush. And then the Blue Sky one was a little bit wider. But I'm certainly not going to buy the more expensive one just to get a tiny bit of a thinner brush. This one is a bit of a thicker brush. But other than that, exactly the same. And the final brand to show you is Madame Glam. You get a lot more in these. There's 15ml in these, whereas in this CND one there's 7ml. So you get double the amount. But they are, I don't know whether they're in US, but they're in dollars anyway. And it works out about £20 including postage for one polish. So you wouldn't pay customs if you ordered one polish. Like I've said, I'm not sure if they come from America or not. You may remember I was sent some of these polishes and I do really like the formula. I think I was sent 2 polishes once and then 2 polishes another time. And I really like the formula, but I have to say I would probably not buy them simply because I can buy things from Amazon, get it in the next few days. I can buy things from Boots. Unless there was a very specific colour that I liked that I didn't have, you know, that I couldn't find, then I would consider buying it from here. So I'm going to show you this colour actually is my favourite of the ones I've got. I don't love the website because it's one of those websites where you have to sign up or sign in order to browse, and it drives me bonkers when companies do that. This is called Rock and Roll. And like I said, bearing in mind that you get so much, you get 15ml, that's pretty good if you're somebody that's going to go through polish a lot, and that's what it looks like. So really deep purple with a beautiful shine. But this is a lot bigger brush and it's a lot bigger bottle, and I personally prefer the smaller bottle. Even though it doesn't have as much in it, I would prefer to use this up and go for another one because I don't change my gel polish that much, you know, so I don't very often go through them other than my red ones because I tend to use those on my toes as well. So I'm not bothered about having a bigger bottle. I would prefer to pay less. But it is a beautiful formula. It lasts just as well as anything else. Really, really lovely polishes. But like I said, I don't know that I would go to the trouble of ordering them, but maybe you guys in the US, if it's a US brand, might be keener. Those are all the brands I've got to talk about today. There are a couple of brands on Amazon that I'm curious about. There is one called Gelaze, which isn't the actual Gelaze brand. It is a dupe brand, I guess. But I don't need any more gel polishes at the moment. I've already ordered the Blue Sky one to see if it matches that. So I thought I'm not just going to go ordering lots of gel polishes because I couldn't find any colours that I wanted other than I could do with a green. I don't have a green, a dark green that I'd like. So if I end up buying some more gel polishes, I'm going to try and investigate the less expensive dupe type brands on Amazon, and then I'll do another video for you, perhaps reviewing them. I will list all of my makeup in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.